What is up, YouTube? This is my daily Bitcoin analysis, and if you're new to this channel, welcome to my second video. And I'm going to be posting videos every day. So if you're interested in this type of content, please feel free to subscribe. So taking a look at BTC today, um, I woke up today and like a ton of my alerts went off, and I was like, "What the hell is happening?" So I open my laptop, and I see this huge wick to the downside, and obviously everyone's pretty freaked out right now. But yeah, let's take a look at it from a non-biased point of view. And I am always neither bullish nor bearish. Obviously, Bitcoin long term, I am bullish, but let's take some time out today to review what is going on. So first and foremost, before even looking at the charts, I want to look at a couple of fundamental reasons of why this could be happening right now. Yeah, the this is what I was looking at last night as well. Like one of the provinces in China, I think, had a blackout. So a lot of the miners were, 40% of the hash rate of the Bitcoin network was down. So 40% is a huge percentage. And obviously, China is one of the leading mining, countries that mines Bitcoin. And this was obviously bearish news last night. And today I was looking at this as well, and almost half of the Bitcoin network was offline in 48 hours. And I think it is back online right now. That's what I was looking at the comments. Like some of them are saying they've come back online. The miners were switching to a new mining pool, but we're gonna have to wait to see a definitive answer here. And this could have been one of the reasons why this was a bearish, move to the downside. But obviously looking at the number of longs being liquidated in Bitcoin, man, with Bitcoin being such a highly over leveraged, trader's paradise, like a gambler's paradise, it's we've seen 7.6 billion longs being liquidated in the last time. This was only 3 hours ago. Now it's about 8.6 billion. If you look at the data on the liquid amount of liquidations, obviously Binance leading it along with BitMEX and Bybit. But Binance obviously has the most amount of volume, so that's obviously why it has the most amount of slippage as well as liquidations. But we've seen 8.6 billion liquidations in the past, day alone. And the last time we saw so many liquidations was on 23rd Feb when BTC hit 57,000, the 57,400 mark. And then this was on a weekend as well when it hit highs. And then we saw, over the weekend it went higher. And then on Monday, we saw a huge, huge, huge move to the downside. And that time we had only about, well, only looking back at it now, it doesn't seem like a lot, but back then it was 3.7 billion logs being liquidated. And obviously, as you can see, price has recovered back from then. I mean, we made a move to the downside, and then we recovered. Now we made highs of over 64,000. But again, I am not. I'm going to be taking a look at this not with a bias. So yeah, let's go. Number one, we seem to have. Let's just start like with the basics. So we have our 55 EMA that has been providing Bitcoin some support since early Feb. So we came down to test the region about on in Feb, and we bounced off of that one time, and we bounced off of that then. But then we tested it the third time, we bounced off of it, and now clearly you can see we broke. I mean, we broke below. We had a wick down below, and the next 16 hours will show us what BTC is trying to do. Like if there is a wick down, I'm gonna have to still go and take a look again at what is happening. But for now, it seems like we've had a bullish momentum back up on the daily chart with a, if we close above, that is obviously a good sign for me. But if it closes below, we're going to have to look at it again. But taking a look at the monthly chart. So as you can see, Bitcoin has made one, two, three, four, five, six green candles in a row. And obviously it is overextended, but markets can be in mania for longer than they can be rational. Like obviously we've seen that all the time. Like it makes a huge move up and then followed by a bear trend, a huge move up. And if this is a bear trend, we can only confirm that this week or the coming next week. And this pullback, I don't think is a bad thing really. More likely, it's better for if you're a swing trader, especially, and if you're long on BTC, it's good for you to take up your positions. But yeah, so a couple of key levels that I want to be watching this week. To start off with, let's go down to a weekly time frame. So to start off with, I'm watching the 60,000, which is obviously the weekly open today. I mean this week, and we have another 16 hours for this to go, and we have 50,000 also, which is the weekly level of confluence that you can see we are bouncing off of right now. So we bounced off of that once, we bouncing off of it right now as well. And if this 50,000 region, and right now we are above our next weekly support, which is at 55,700 approximately. And see, this clearly looks like a pretty good reversal from BTC from the dump, but we're gonna have to look at it later when we come back to test the region. And looking at it on a daily time frame, taking our fibs from the low to the high. So we have our fibs here. We have our fibs, pulling from the low to the high. You can see we have bounced off of the 618 region, which is also in confluence with the weekly. So I would say, I mean, obviously, I am kind of bummed that I missed this, but this is why you can never sleep with Bitcoin. But that was an amazing level to go long off of BTC if you're long. And a wick down like that with so many liquidations only gives me more of a bullish bias rather than a bearish bias. Because obviously that's how the market moves, right? I mean, if you have the only way you want to move the market, if you either liquidate a lot of people and then make them buy back in, so you push price higher, or you squeeze people out. So suppose people are shorting at these lows or shorting here. If price moves up, they have to buy back, and that obviously pushes price back higher. But right now, just looking at this is our obviously our key level of support, our 51,000. So for me personally, if this weekly holds, I think we are just going to be range bound. Either this is our low or this is going to be our low. And with highs coming in at, uh, where am I headed? There, the daily. So this being the high of the range, I can see this or this one being the low. We're just going to have to wait and see what BTC says. So these are my four key levels that I want to be watching this week. And obviously, if we take our fibs from the high to the low as well, we can see our resistance is coming in at 60,000 region. So we're going to have to see if BTC makes a move back up. Let me just make this a bit easier for you to watch. So our fibs from the high to the low, again, we can see this region of confluence with the weekly being an area of resistance. So now that we know there are two key levels of support, what scenarios do I think are possible? Again, 40. Okay. So scenario A that I think is possible is a ABC corrective wave, A coming back here, and a B, either hitting the weekly or somewhere in between here. We do have, and a C, a definitive close below the weekly would mean I could, it could be this level as well. We could go back to the 45,000 region as well. I'm not gonna be pushing this down. But there are a couple of regions here as well. Like we have our 48,000 key level here, which is area support. And for me, this is me personally just looking at the bearish bias right now. Right. So the 60,000 region is going to be our current area of resistance. I think this is the strongest resistance right now. And also, since people love trend lines, we are going to be coming back up and retesting the trend line. And in case we do retest it, so this could be a possibility number one. A, B, C wave down to 45,000. This is one of the bearish possibilities. And another bullish possibility is since and that is where all of the hedge funds are going to be starting off their Monday morning trading with. Yeah. So as long as yeah, so for me personally, I think these are my three main key levels to be watching about 50,000, 55,000, and 60,000. These are my key weekly levels of support and resistance that I think have the most confluence and also have 60,000 is in confluence with our trend line right there. And a lot of people are going to be watching. If it retests above, they're going to be bullish, but if it retests and fall back, they're going to be bearish. But you just got to think like, how are hedge funds going to be playing this? And obviously, none of the hedge funds are going to be buying big BTC here. They're going to be buying it at the lows at 3,000. So this is a purely emotional, mania-driven market. So you got to start being a bit smart with your money and be prepared for crashes like this. Right now, we're just gonna. I think I'm just gonna take it as the week progresses and treat this as a range. So for me, this is gonna be the low of the range. This is gonna be the mid, and this is gonna be the high. So 60,000. If we are clearing above it and taking it as support, I think that's a good sign. But if we fail to take this area, specifically these highs of last week, which was the 61,000 region, I think these two areas we're going to have to be watching out to be, to base our trades off of. Right now, I think this was a good opportunity to go long, especially if you're a swing trader, the 50,000 mark or, even this level, the 55,000, because you got to realize this is a weekend. There's going to be basically no volume in the market. And since BTC is such a over leveraged traders paradise, like a gambler's paradise, um, whales love squeezing the price. So if you know, so obviously this is looking back at order flow right now. But if you look at this is on Bybit alone. 3.6 billion, 4.2 billion with a negative open interest of 524. So you can see clearly that 4.2 billion longs just got chopped out over here alone on Bybit, and that is a huge, huge, huge move to the downside. 4.2 billion, 1.1 billion, and we see 3.6 billion plus 1.75 billion candle volume um, delta in 1 hour alone. So clearly, to me, this looks like manipulation. It's like the weekend. It's easy for the whales to just play around with price, and stop a lot of traders out there. But since this is a fixed range, well, now we are up against the point of control. As you can see, there was a very, very low, volume over here. Like the range here was low, except for this one high volume node, which was at 50,000. And now again, we are coming up at the point of control, which is 56,000. The exchange, the volume exchange here was comparatively less significant than these areas. So for me personally, volume and volume profile wise, if this level doesn't hold, my next point of control I would look at is 57,000. But if that doesn't hold, we could see a possibility to the downside because if you remember when Elon Musk tweeted about Bitcoin, we went straight from 38,000 to like 50,000 almost in like literally in an hour. So obviously there's a lot of single prints here. This area especially is like a black hole. So if we come back down to this region and to test it, I can see a huge downfall back to 33,000. But let's take the charts and let's take our trades based off of the week coming ahead. And Monday open is going to be a very, very interesting day for me because we have our CME gap at 61,000 region, I believe. So that's when market trading stopped. And now we are under it by, what is this, like 8%. We almost made a 17%, which is a crazy, crazy move. But as long as these levels still hold for me, especially the 55,000 region, I think we could have a possibility of a corrective wave, A, B, C. With a close above, that would be pretty bullish. And a bearish possibility would be this being our A wave and coming back to test the weekly or the daily and closing below the weekly. Again, two possible scenarios I can see playing out this week are A, coming down to the weekly, testing again, the 60 to the 61,000 region, and falling below the weekly with a potential test at 51,000. But we're going to have to look at that then. But for now, this is one possibility of mine, like a bearish outlook. And another bullish outlook is, you know, uh, an A wave coming back to test the weekly, and a bullish close above the weekly would still be pretty good to me. So these were two scenarios that I see BTC, could be potentially playing out. But yeah, stay strong. Don't panic sell into the whales. The whale squeezing price. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have any other recommendations of altcoins or analysis, tech analysis, fundamental analysis that you want me to do, feel free to drop it down in the comments down below, and I will take a look at these charts and give you my thoughts on it. But until we see BTC making a couple of few moves, that's it for me. And thanks for watching.